In our news segment, we are looking at the prospects of whether this peace agreement in Southern Sudan will be successful. With me on set is Charles Rwomushana, security analyst, and as well taking a look deeper into the situation in Southern Sudan. Do you think this will be a successful agreement, especially given the two individuals now signing?
Why was there war? Salva Kiir precipitated this war by sacking Riek Machar, one, by staging a false coup against himself, which they are trying to do here in Uganda, the way you see them constructing these militias, and then two, by dismissing his vice president, and he has not told the world why he had made him the vice president in the first place, and then dismissing the secretary general, those powers that he had no powers to dismiss because they were elected officials. The way you see Amamba was here, these were elected. So he precipitated a crisis which resulted into a civil war, and you've not interrogated the causes of the civil war. The cause of the civil war was not power sharing. It was the arrogance of another minority thinking that the others are objects. They are just mere subjects. They are not citizens. They are second-class people, second-class citizens. So the agreement is not there. It can't work. Because as I speak right now, fighting is intense between Nimule and Juba. And that is the most critical road. Because they have three roads. The one from Kapaweta to Juba. Another one from our border Nimule, Guru Nimule, Juba Road. And another one from West Nile via Yei to Nimule. Now, these two, the Kapaweta, the Juba Nimule, Nimule Juba, Guru Nimule Juba, and then the Kapaweta Road are under attack. And for now almost 6 days, UPDF has failed to open it. And the southern part of Juba, and Juba itself up to Bol is under the security of UPDF. So it's now UPDF that is being engaged and is also engaging. And that can't take place. The ceasefire can't take place. The peace deal cannot take place until the UPDF is smashed there.
Do you see the UPDF pulling out of Southern Sudan?
The demilitarization is a condition that for Riek Machar to be part of the government and that is going to be seated in Juba, then the partisan force must be withdrawn. And that is the force of UPDF, because it is partisan, it is for Salva Kiir, and then the militia or the force of Salva Kiir also be withdrawn. And that is not victory on the part of UPDF and Salva Kiir, no. It's not victory. They did not want that. They have been forced into it. But where does UPDF withdraw to? The area of UPDF, which is between Juba and our border, is now already occupied and fighting is going on. And the force which has occupied it is not relenting, it won't give them space. So they have nowhere to withdraw to. They must fight to the death. And that's why the use of a peace arrangement is not practical. It's a lie, and I advise you ignore it.
Let's take a look at the cost implication of the involvement of President Uhuru Kenyatta, President Yoweri Museveni, and of course Haile Mariam of Ethiopia.
Yeah, you see, they've been involved because the presence of our army, the presence of the UPDF, is a security threat to their security and stability. It is not Salva Kiir who is a security threat. It is this instigator in the exterior that made Salva Kiir commit mistakes, make mistakes, and destabilize a young nation. Because all these countries contributed to the liberation of South Sudan. They contributed in the dismembering of the original Sudan and breaking it into two. But even remember, by the way, that when even UPDF was with the whole of SPLM, they had failed to capture Juba from the forces of General Bashir. So why does President Museveni think that now he can go to Juba and against all the regional powers and occupy it and maintain it? Certainly he could not. It was a huge dream that is not baseless. Because how can you dream when you're not even sleeping? So so you have no peace deal. The other members are worried about the interventionism of the NRA, of the UPDF. It's a threat. And they now have it surrounded there to teach it a lesson. President Museveni is going to be taught a lesson never to intervene anywhere else. Because as I've told you, he has no room for withdrawal. You can't negotiate for withdrawal, except if you are talking about another arrangement of negotiations to give him an exit route, which he won't have. He won't have an exit route, and therefore the force will be smashed. Africa is not going to negotiate with mass murderers. It won't. people who have mismanaged politics to result into a flood flow of blood, of Africa's blood. Africa won't have deals with them.
With the United Nations experts now coming out clear on the precipice of the Southern Sudan security, now we await on whether the Uganda People's Forces will pull out of Southern Sudan, on when and where and how. We wait. Arans Tabaruka, WBS Television.